I have a feeling that if you've clicked on this video, you know that you are destined for so much success in this life. However, you might find it very, very difficult to take any kind of action steps in order to get to that place where you want to be and where you know you deserve to be. You feel bogged down with day-to-day life, you feel like you've got no energy, you're lethargic all the time, you feel really shit about yourself, you're lacking confidence, you don't know where to start. If that's anything like you, I feel you deeply. That was definitely me at one point in my life. I was very lost. I knew that I had big dreams, big goals, and I knew that I was going to be successful in life, but I just didn't know how to get there because I felt like the job that I was in and the lifestyle that I was living wasn't conducive to the life that I wanted to get, and I found it really, really difficult to find any kind of motivation or any kind of inspiration to get to where I want to be. So if that's something that you struggle with and you can resonate with, I am going to share with you some of my tips on how you can actually set yourself up for success and actually feel like you have the tools to create the life of your dreams, to create the life that you know for a fact that you deserve. These tips are going to make your life so much easier in the difficult process of reaching your dreams, because we all know that when you're trying to shift realities and create a life that you really want for yourself, it's difficult. It involves a lot of getting out of your comfort zone. It involves a lot of early mornings, late nights, a lot of hard work, and sometimes we just need that little bit of support and that little bit of a push. You need to make a point every single day of your life to saturate your mind with who you want to be and what you want your life to look like. Whether that be inspirational and motivational content on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, whether that be reviewing your vision boards every single morning on Pinterest and looking through all the pictures of your dream life, or whether that is actually sitting down with a notepad and pen and reviewing your goals. Reviewing your goals every single day, that's probably the top one for me. It is so easy to lose sight of your goals when you are just busy living your day-to-day life, and it makes you question why you're even doing any uncomfortable things in order to get there, because you do need to do uncomfortable things to get there. And if you're not reviewing your goals every single day, you're just going to think, why am I doing this? Why am I making my life so much harder? I know that all of us at some point in our life have sat down and we've written down our goals and what we want to achieve in life, but we do just generally forget it in our day-to-day life. Life is hectic, life is busy. There are lots of temptations around us for us to give in to instant gratification and things that are probably not good for us, but they feel good in the moment. And if you are not keeping on top of what your goals are and reviewing them, you are going to be more susceptible to fall into those bad habits and instant gratification because you're not keeping your eye on the end goal, what you actually want for yourself. So reviewing your goals every single day is so important, and it is such a big part of saturating your mind with who and what you want to be in life. I also think that positive affirmations are a game changer. I listen to positive affirmations every single morning, guaranteed, or every single weekday morning, not so much on the weekend, but I listen to those affirmations and I really think it's helped me. Like, it's hard to say because there's so many different things that I do that probably contribute to the person that I am now, but I do think that listening to those positive affirmations every single morning, it just sets your day off on the right foot. I also think this is where social media can actually come in really handy, because I think that there's been times that I've come off social media and I've had a social media detox, and that's all well and good, it's great, it's fine and dandy, I'm still reviewing my goals, I'm still doing all of that, but sometimes I go on social media and I'll see someone who is living their best life, who is doing the most, and it gives me this fire inside of my belly that I want to do the same kind of thing, and I want to work so I can get to that point as well, and it really, really inspires me. So if you are someone who gets inspired by other people's success, I think that social media can actually be really beneficial in kind of kicking you up the arse and making you make moves in relation to your goals. Someone who is absolutely incredible at this is Tamcore. Tamcore is the most inspirational and motivational content creator I've ever seen out there. She is amazing. She's killing the game. She's reaching all of her goals. She's manifesting all the time. She's just incredible. And I think when I see people like her, it just makes me feel like, right, I need to just snap out of this. I need to stop feeling sorry for myself. I need to focus on what's important to me and work towards that, and nothing else can get in the way. And I do think that's something that you can, obviously you can motivate yourself, but sometimes it's nice to just have somebody there to motivate you and just give you that little bit of an extra push. And I personally think that that really helps. If you're someone who gets a little bit jealous when it comes to things like that, or envious, and you feel like you can't follow people like that, I feel you deeply, because I feel like this definitely used to be me, and I still feel it come up sometimes. Like even when I watch Tamcore, like I adore Tamcore, I love her videos, but sometimes I'm thinking, God, why is that not me? Like, why am I not doing that? Blah, blah, blah. But like, I think when I actually grow up and like get some perspective on the situation, I look at how she has has reached the goals that she's reached, and I think she absolutely deserves every single win that she's ever had. Like, she works so hard. She's non-stop, and like, I can't even pretend I work as hard as she does, because I don't. I do in terms of the fact that I have got multiple jobs and I keep afloat in that way, but I think when it pertains to my actual goals and wanting to make my YouTube channel succeed, I definitely could be doing more. I 100% could be doing more, and I think sometimes sheltering yourself from people who you might admire or envy on social media because it triggers you or whatever, I think sometimes it just, as I say, it shelters yourself and it doesn't allow you to do the introspection that you actually need to do in order to understand why you're actually feeling jealous of that person and why you think that you can't have that too. Because we can have whatever anyone else out there has got. We can have it. If we want it bad enough, we can have it. So there is no reason for us to be getting jealous. So if you're anything like that, I feel you. But I challenge you to, maybe not when it pertains to like beauty influencers, because I think sometimes that can be a little bit toxic. And I think if you are aspiring to be like somebody physically and you don't look that way and you never will look that way, I think it can be really unhealthy to your self-esteem and confidence. So I think in that respect, maybe give it a miss. But when it comes to really inspiring YouTubers and people who are doing exactly what you want to do in life and they are killing the game, if you're getting envious and jealous of that, I really do challenge you to just go within, look inward and ask yourself, why do I not think that I can achieve that life as well? Because you can. You literally can, and I can as well. I know it deep in my soul, and I just got to the point where I was like, I need to grow up. I need to grow up and just accept the cards that I've been given and play those. Stop trying to compare myself to other people, because my journey is completely different to other people. As much as I admire these other people and I seek inspiration from them, I know that my journey is going to be so much different, and it's going to be the best possible journey for me personally, and it's the exact same thing for you. Another thing I also used to do every single morning, this was like a couple of years ago, back in my like first wave of proper self-love, self-development vibes. I used to wake up every single morning at 5 a.m. and the first thing I would do, I would get my phone and I would go on YouTube and I would type in motivational video, like motivational speech. I literally just used to write that, and whatever video came up first, I would click on it, and it would be one of those really dramatic videos with dramatic music in the background, inspiring B-roll footage of people working out or running in the rain or something like that, and it would be someone basically shouting at you and telling you that you can do it and you've got so much potential and you're playing small and blah blah blah. Basically just people shouting at you in the morning, and that was like the only thing that would get me out of bed. I'm not gonna lie, because during that self-love journey I was actually going through a breakup and I was devastated and distraught, and I found it so difficult to get out of bed in the morning because my dreams were my safe place. But listening to those videos snapped me back into reality, and it made me think, no, I can actually do something with my life. I can actually achieve all the things that I want to achieve because this person on YouTube is telling me that I can do it. And sometimes we just need that extra person to tell us that we can do it, and I hope that I can be that person for you, because I know for a fact that you can do it too. You are what you eat. I really underestimated the importance of the food that we eat and the effect it has on us. I have always been a naturally slim person, so I didn't really have any issues in terms of eating bad food and gaining weight. I had lots of other issues, like I would get really bad acne and I had a lot of inflammation and things like that, and I did actually go through a phase where I did put on a lot of weight, but that's when I was going out drinking all the time. But I didn't ever approach food from a perspective that it would affect my mood and affect the way that I felt. So I used to be depressed like all the time. I used to feel very sad every single day of my life. Like every single day was a bad day. If it was a good day, it was a miracle. It was a miracle. And when I think back on that time in my life and the things that I was doing and the things that I was eating, I am not surprised that I felt that way. I'm not gonna lie, like I was eating takeaway food all the time. I just passed my driving test, so I could go to any drive-through that I wanted to at any moment in time, and it was like the most amazing and fun thing ever. And I also had a job and I was earning money, so I could just spend money on food, and I would eat out every single day on my lunch break. I would get a meal deal or I would buy a takeaway of some sort. And I honestly understand why I was so sad all the time, because you don't know what is in that food. You don't know what is in fast food. You don't know what is even in the meal deals at Boots. Like when you eat out anywhere, you don't know what's in that food. And a lot of the food that is on the shelves that we buy that is ultra processed is not good for humans. It's not nutritious. It doesn't give us the vitamins and the things that we need to actually fuel us and give us energy. It's basically just edible, an edible concoction of chemicals and compounds and all that kind of thing that we can eat, and it tastes really good because they put loads of sugar and salt or whatever in it to make it taste really yummy, and then you want to eat more because it's got additives in it. And these things were not made with love. They were not made with the intention to make every single human being thrive and live their best life. It was made to just make you want to buy more food and make it so addictive that you want to eat that every single day. Once I got an understanding of what certain foods made me feel like, and I started intuitively eating, I realized that there are so many things that were actually making me feel so unwell, for one, and two, just depressed in general because I was feeling gross all the time. So I know for a fact, if I eat McDonald's, I know if I eat one McDonald's, I am gonna get addicted to it because it is addictive. It's just easy to eat. It's kind of like a little bit of a comfort because when I was a kid, we didn't get McDonald's that often. It was such a treat, but it felt like such a warm hug. It felt great. So if I have a McDonald's now, it takes me back to that feeling when I was a kid, and I just wanna have it all the time because now I'm an adult with my own money and I can spend my money on whatever I want. So why would I not buy the thing that makes me feel like I'm getting a warm hug? With knowing that information, I tend to avoid McDonald's at all costs. I recently went through a bit of an episode of eating McDonald's all the time because I had that one McDonald's because I was craving it. I was just hungry, I was craving it, whatever. I had that one McDonald's and I just wanted to eat it constantly after that, and I had no willpower. I just let myself do it because my mind is in overdrive constantly with everything else going on in my life. So sometimes I don't like to think too much when it comes to food because then that overwhelms me even more. So that was just like the easiest thing for me, and I was eating it. It was great at the time, but then afterwards I would feel so depressed. I genuinely think it's got depressants in it, I'm not gonna lie. Let me know if you guys feel the same way about McDonald's as well. It might be like all takeaways, but specifically McDonald's is the one that makes me feel so sad and so depressed afterwards, and it makes me feel like a crack addict. Once I healed my relationship with food and the way that I looked at it, because I did used to binge eat quite a lot as well. I don't know if you would have gathered that from the way that I was just talking about food then, but once I kind of got a bit of a healthier relationship with food and I started to really enjoy eating more fresh food and cooking things for myself, eating more salads and vegetables and whole foods, and really enjoying the whole process of making a meal. So the going to the shop and getting the food and bringing it back and slowly cooking with your partner. It can be a fun little activity. Once I started doing that, I noticed such a difference in my mood, in my skin. My skin is the biggest one. I used to, like, I don't know if you can see because it's very, the exposure is very high, but my skin is really good now. Like, my skin is great. I get the odd breakout and I do get like blemishes and things like that. Like, not blemishes, like little red patches. But on the whole, my skin is really good now. And it never used to be that way. I used to guarantee wake up every single morning with a new spot, if not 3. Like, it would be ridiculous. And they would all be really painful, like cystic acne kind of spots. And it just was not the one. But now I don't have any of that because I have been intuitive eating for long enough now that I genuinely, my body rejects the food that doesn't make me feel good. So if I eat too much sugar, I have a little bit of a sugar intolerance. So when I eat too much sugar, it really sends my blood sugar levels crazy. It makes me feel sick. It makes me feel nauseous. It makes me have the worst mood swings ever. So because I am very conscious and I've gone through the cycles of eating it, feeling like shit, eating it, feeling like shit, because I've done that so many times, I have gotten to a point now where I actively, as much as I want to eat that food, I don't choose it because I think I really don't want to feel bad. I have too many things that I want to do. I have too many goals that I want to achieve. I cannot afford to be eating food that is going to make me feel awful. So all that to say, there is no wonder that you don't have the energy that you need to pursue your goals and get the life of your dreams when you are eating junk, when you are eating food that is not fueling you, it's not giving you energy, and it's just making you feel drained and it's making you crave more. Honestly, intuitive eating saved my life, and it just made me more aware of the foods that I'm eating and the things that I'm putting into my body and how they make me feel. I think that's the first step, just knowing how certain foods make you feel and then going from there. Always plan ahead. You need to know and understand your weaknesses and your downfalls in order for you to plan ahead and prevent those from happening. I think this is probably an area where a lot of us go wrong. It's so funny because a lot of the time we make the same mistakes over and over again. Like, the universe keeps giving us the same tests over and over again and we keep failing and we're like, oh my god, why does this keep happening? thinking, why can I not seem to do this thing? When really, have you sat down with yourself and asked yourself what is difficult about this and what is holding you back from actually succeeding in it? Let's say, for example, you want to start going to the gym in the morning, but you, for some reason, just cannot bring yourself to do it when you get up in the morning. You need to ask yourself what it is about that situation that is so difficult for you to get your head around or get yourself to actually do. I know for me personally, if I'm planning on going to the gym in the morning and I give myself a whole load of obstacles in the way in the actual morning that make it so difficult for me to actually get there, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to find it so much easier to stay in bed and give myself 1,000,001 excuses and just get that extra sleep in. A solution to this is the night before, making sure that you have your gym clothes out and ready for you to put on and for you to get straight out the door. Even take it that extra step further and making sure that you have maybe like a face wipe or your skincare out ready. Everything is where it needs to be to make you getting ready for the gym in the morning so easy and effortless that you just do it because it's probably the easier option. I remember watching a Patricia Bright video and she actually said that she sleeps in her gym kit the night before. Like, she actually sleeps in it so that when she gets out of bed, she has no excuse to not get up and go to the gym or get up and do a workout. Each to their own. I know that some people get a bit hot when they sleep and get a bit sweaty, and you probably wouldn't want to go to the gym all sweaty. You'd probably maybe want to shower first. I don't know. But me personally, I'm a very cold sleeper, so sleeping in gym kit isn't actually that big of a deal unless it's really tight and compression-y, and I don't really like that. I don't know, that could be an option for you and that could really help you. I know that when I do that, I just kind of slide out of bed and I'm already ready for the gym and I don't have any excuses, and something about that just makes me go because I think, well, I'm already in this, I might as well just go. And the hardest thing for me as well when I wake up in the morning is actually taking off my pajamas, putting on new clean clothes that are really cold. I don't like it and I'm not going to do it. I know for a fact that I'm not going to do it. So basically, removing all the obstacles and planning ahead so that you are setting yourself up for success and setting yourself up for things to be really easy. I think also as well, on a Sunday night, making sure that you have everything planned and ready in your week, what you're gonna do. When I don't plan out my week, I have the most disorganized and crazy chaotic week and I don't really get anything done. But when I actually sit down and I plan my week on a Sunday night or a Sunday morning, I just find that I get so much more done. And right, my planner that I had actually ran out of days, and once that ran out, I just kind of let it run out and I didn't really buy another one because I thought, oh, it's fine, whatever, I can still continue. But there was something about not having a notebook or a journal or a planner to keep me accountable that actually made me not be accountable, and it made me just get away with murder basically. I was just doing whatever the hell I wanted and there was nothing to humble me or keep me accountable, like I said. So I treated myself to a new day-to-day, what do you call it, daily planner. I did have a weekly planner before, and I'm not gonna lie, I do prefer a weekly planner. So like, if that helps you at all, I do personally think that weekly planner is better. But this is like a day to view one and it's just so good. This is like an example of the pages. I don't think you'll be able to see. Who knows? But like, having a planner with a habit tracker in it, I find that habit trackers really do keep me accountable and really do make me want to do those things because I like ticking off the habit tracker. But like, just planning your week on the Sunday, it really helps. And even if you're a person who does meal prep, making sure that on a Sunday morning, getting that out of the way and just doing all of your food shop, doing all of your meal prep and just chilling for the rest of the day, you are going to thank yourself for it later on down the line, I promise. We have to think about our future self and we have to think about what is going to make her life the easiest it can possibly be. Because life is difficult, life is hard, life has its own obstacles, especially when you're building your dream life. There are so many uncomfortable situations that you're put in and there's so many things that you need to do that are already pushing you outside of your comfort zone and they're making you feel really stressed and maybe a little bit burnt out. You don't want to be adding on top of that all of the unnecessary shit, like figuring out what you want to eat that night. Like, just having it all mapped out makes your life so much easier. And I know it's really simple, I know everyone says it, but like, you need a reminder sometimes. And genuinely, since I've had this planner back in my life, since I've had some kind of planner back in my life, I have been so much more accountable for my shit and I've gotten so much more done because I am physically with a pen and paper writing things down. Digital planners don't do anything for me. I have bought so many digital planners and I use Google Calendar and I just don't vibe with it. I like to actually write it down with a pen and paper. I just find it so much more cathartic. And you can make it a little ritual as well in the mornings. Like if you want to just like quickly run over all of the things that you've got to do that day and write things down, make extra little notes, it's like a morning ritual and it just sets you off on the right track. So this kind of relates to the reviewing your goals daily. Like review your goals daily in a cute little planner. Like it really, how can you not abide by the things that are in a book this cute? Like, you just have to do it. You just have to be accountable. Always do the hardest thing first. Please take my advice on this and just get the hardest things done first and foremost, because if you're anything like me, I am a procrastinator. And if I know that I've got a big project that I need to do, I'm not gonna wanna do it. If it's not the first thing that I do in the morning, I am gonna be filled with dread all day long. And then when I'm filled with dread, it just makes me not wanna do it. So I do procrastinate and I'll end up doing other stuff and I'll end up scrolling on social media and doing things that aren't actually gonna help me reach my goal. When you do the hardest thing that you've gotta do first, which really helps if you planned the night before, because then you know what you gotta do. Once you do that hard thing, you feel untouchable and unstoppable for the rest of the day. Honest to God, like the confidence is just unmatched. Like when I've done something really difficult in the morning, whether that be a workout, whether that be a really difficult work project, whether that be like scripting a video or something, whatever job that you're putting off and you're dreading a little bit, getting that done first thing in the morning, I can't explain the feeling. It just makes you feel unstoppable. I was really struggling not that long ago on the weekends because I would find that every single weekend I would be so burnt out, so tired from the week and like the busyness of everything, that when it came to the weekend and I actually had time to myself, I was just using all of that time resting and just being really lazy, being very unintentional and not really doing much with my time. And then obviously I would feel really bad about that. I'd feel really bad about myself and it just led me to spiral into really unhealthy habits. So I had this epiphany that why am I actually forcing myself to wake up at 5 AM in the weekdays to get ready and go to work and like do whatever, but when it actually comes to my own time on the weekend, I'm not prioritizing getting up early then. I'm sleeping in, I'm being lazy, I'm being lethargic, and I'm just doing whatever I want to do in that moment and having no organization or flow to my day, which I know makes me feel rubbish. Like, why am I choosing to spend my free time like that? You tell me, because I simply could not tell you. So what I decided to do like a little experiment, and I've started getting up early on the weekends. Not like dead early. I like 6-7 AM on the weekend, and I've started getting up early, doing something productive or difficult, and then honestly the rest of the day after that, like everything just falls into place. Everything feels so good and so productive, and I don't know, it's just great for the self-esteem, it's great for the confidence, it's great to do difficult things anyway in general, because it just makes you feel good about yourself, because you feel proud that you've actually done something really difficult. And it's so easy to avoid difficult things in this day and age because it's easy to just be comfortable and it's easy to do nothing. It's easy to get quick fake dopamine from scrolling on Instagram and TikTok. No, we are not doing that, because even though it feels good in the moment, it doesn't feel good in the long term, and it's probably the reason why you're depressed and probably the reason why you've got no energy. Finally, I'm gonna need you to get out of your head. You're thinking too much. You are thinking too much. You're overcomplicating things, and I need you to stop. I have always struggled with perfectionism, like my whole entire life. I always want to please people. I want to impress people and make people think that I'm like great at what I do. And if I'm not great at what I do, I just don't do it at all, because like, why would I? And that's held me back from a lot of things. And I think with perfectionism as well, I've spoken about this in a previous video, but it comes with a lot of indecision, because you feel like you need to make the perfect decision every single time, and that every single thing that you choose in the day needs to lead to a favorable outcome, and that's just not life. I have very quickly learned and been humbled by. I stopped myself from doing so many things. I stopped doing uncomfortable things. Like, there's so many goals that I have, and I know the action steps that I need to take to get there, but I've just stopped myself from it because I feel like, oh well, I'm not very good at that, so I don't want to do it because I'm not going to be perfect at it, and everything I do needs to be perfect. Do you know how conceited that is? Like, why does everything I need to do need to be perfect? It doesn't. It literally does not need to be perfect, and people don't expect that from you. It is literally only you who expects yourself to be perfect. No one else cares that much. I mean, maybe your parents probably do, but like, whatever. We'll move out one day and that's not gonna matter. But you are the only one who is being so hard on yourself. You are your biggest critic. So once you just ditch that perfectionism perfectionistic mindset and just realize that you don't need to be perfect and that no one actually is perfect. The people that you see on social media who are killing it, they might seem like they do everything perfectly, but they actually don't. They're not going to show you all the things they do imperfectly, because why would they? They want everything to be entertaining and inspiring and motivational for you. That's why they're putting it on social media. They're not going to show you all of the imperfect moments. They're not going to show you how uncomfortable it feels for you to actually do something that feels a little bit difficult and feels a little bit uncomfortable. And if you are avoiding doing things that are difficult and uncomfortable, you are never going to get to where you want to be. You are completely setting yourself up for failure if you are just allowing yourself to do the things you're good at already and just do them your whole life. You need to make sure that you're doing difficult and uncomfortable things in order to grow. Otherwise, you're not going to grow. You are just going to stay the exact same person, doing the exact same things and wondering why you've not got your dream life. Like, there's no fucking wonder. Get out of your head and just force yourself to make decisions in short time frames. Don't think too much about it. Don't overthink about like the possible outcomes of this and the possible outcomes of that and do like a pros and cons list for everything that you decide on. You don't need to do that. You can start small by, let's say for example, when you go to a restaurant and you don't know what to order. I am so bad for this because I like every meal to be delicious and like the best thing I've ever eaten. So when I go to a restaurant, I find it really difficult to make a decision. But recently I have just been saying like, right, this is the first thing that I saw. This is the first thing that I was pulled to. And I feel like my intuition is guiding me towards. I'm just gonna roll with that. And if it's not good, it's not good. It's not the end of the world. Like, I've tried it. I know that I don't like that. I've got more information for future reference of what not to have, and that's fine. Make that decision and just keep moving forward. Keep pushing forward. Keep making more and more decisions, because it's the only way you're going to learn about yourself and the only way that you're going to get towards your goals. I know how difficult it is to branch out of your comfort zone and do things that are really difficult and make decisions on the spot. Like, I am the most indecisive person. I'm a Gemini. I don't know where the necklace is. I can't see. So if I can change my mindset in relation to decision making, then so can you. I want you to challenge yourself to make decisions quickly, or as quick as you possibly can, and just roll with it. Roll with whatever consequences, whatever outcome comes from that. Just roll with it and own it, rather than making decisions and going, oh, I don't know if I should choose that. Oh, I'm going to change my mind. Like, no more changing your mind unless you really need to. But no, we're going to say no changing your mind because I don't want to give you any leeway. No changing your mind. Just make a decision, run with that, and see where you go. And whatever happens, whether that's a failure or a mistake or you shouldn't have made that decision, it is what it is. And any decision that you make in that moment isn't a mistake. It's not a failure. That is the decision that you wanted to make in that moment. And whatever mistake happened from that is a lesson for you to learn from. Nothing happens in vain. Everything happens for a reason. I hope this video provided a little bit of insight into how you can actually set yourself up for success so that you are not feeling constantly downtrodden and feeling bogged down by your life, because I know it's difficult when you are working a job that you maybe don't like and you've not got the money that you need maybe to do the things that you want to do. I know it's so difficult, and it's difficult when you also don't have time, or you feel like you don't have time to do things, but it is possible. And I think when we do have this limited time and we only have those few hours on the evening and our weekends to chase our goals and chase our dreams, it's so important for us to implement these steps and actually set ourselves up for success, so that we are giving ourselves the best shot possible of doing amazing things in this life. So I hope these tips gave you a little bit of insight and a little bit of a reminder, maybe if you already knew them. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am so grateful for all of you guys, and I'm so grateful for all the support on the videos. It means the absolute world to me. What are your main obstacles, would you say, when it comes to chasing your goals and your dreams? Is it maybe the fact of what I've just said, of not having enough time and feeling like your job that you have at the minute drains you a lot? Or is it the fact that you are maybe living in a little bit of a toxic environment, so you feel like you've never got any downtime to do what you want to do? Because I am going to definitely make a video on that as well, because I feel you if that's the case. But yeah, leave a comment and just let us know, because I feel like a lot of us can probably relate on this topic, and we all need to support each other. We all need to be there for each other, because as much as I'm talking about all of this, it's not like I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt and I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you from a place of trying to pursue my YouTube channel and make that work for me, and ultimately make this my full-time job. And these are the steps that I'm going to do to implement it, because these are the things that I've done in the past to get the things that I have right now. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me, and I will speak to you next week.